Good morning. It's my privilege as chair to call this Russell County Commission to order for May 27th. And I'm going to ask Pastor Alan Griffith of the Emmanuel Baptist Church to lead us in our prayer. And then if you will remain standing, please. And Mr. Screws, would you lead us in our pledge?
Yes, ma'am. Let's pray together. Father God in heaven, we bow before you this morning, again, to recognize that you are God and not we ourselves. Father, you created us. You give life. You sustain life. And Father, we just give you the praise and the honor just for who you are. Father, we also beseech you on behalf of our nation. Father, we are a nation that is deeply troubled. We are divided in so many ways. Father, we need a spirit of unity just to overflow this country. And Father, I pray that you would help us all to realize that it starts with people like me and with commissions such as this. Father, we pray that you would bring about peace among the land and between our people, that we could once again be the great nation that we have found it to be. Father, I pray that you would bless this commission. Lord, I know that they each have needs and problems in their lives that they need your assistance with. And Father, I just ask you to be it unto them according to their faith. And Lord, that as they lean upon you, that you would grant that to them. Father, help us all to realize the passage of Scripture that tells us to trust in the Lord with all of our heart and lean not upon our own understanding, but in all our ways acknowledge you, and you will direct our path. So, Father, we just bow before you today and ask that you would do that this day in all of our hearts and all of our lives. And we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Salute, flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May be seated. We have one citizen to make a public comment, and that's Kelly, who is our tourism director.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to make sure everyone knew about the Muskogee Creek Native Art Fair we're having on the Riverwalk this weekend. It'll be at the amphitheater and then continue down the Riverwalk. We're going to have, I brought the schedule, stomp dance ceremony. It'll begin at 11 a.m. on Saturday with the opening ceremony. And then also have storytelling, a flute demonstration, some concessions, things like that. We're also having a invitation-only reception here in the atrium for you and the city council, and the demonstrators will be there as well. So you'll get to meet them. And we're really trying to encourage a good relationship with the Muskogee Nation with this. So they want to eventually, hopefully, come in. We want to connect Fort Mitchell with it, the Indian Heritage Center, and really draw all that closer together. So I have your invitations. We'll also be open on Sunday from about 10 o'clock to 2. So everybody come out.
Did you say
I'm sorry.
Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday and Sunday. The reception is Saturday night.
At 10?
The festival starts at 11 on Saturday with the opening ceremony. The reception's at 6 Saturday night.
Oh, Saturday night. I thought I heard 10. Maybe that's Sunday.
At 10 on Sunday it starts, the festival.
You said this is the first time they've returned to this area?
It is. They haven't been back since when the Creek Trail of Tears happened. They closed the land. So they haven't, their ancestors have not been back, and they haven't been back since then. So this is a very big deal to have them come back in. So, and I'm going to give you all your invitations.
Thank you so much, Kelly. You do a tremendous job of keeping us informed and working with the communities to be informed of different activities.
Thank you.
I want to thank the East Alabama Public TV, and I'm sorry, are you with the Channel 7? Yes, okay.
Yeah, yeah, they're all
We're
TNT.
glad we got both coverages in,
No.
and we appreciate your efforts to be here and cover it's the People's Commission. And also Glenda, she represents the Citizen News, and we thank them for covering our programs. I want to say welcome to the department heads, the elected officials, those visiting with us. I want to recognize Miss Montana Pugh. She's the daughter of Commissioner Pugh. And I learned this morning she's moving to New York. She has a job there, and we wish her well. We do need the roll call.
District 1 Lee,
Present.
District 2 Pugh,
Present.
District 3 Martin,
Yes, here.
District 4 Reeves.
Here.
District 5 L. Here. District 6 Corbett. Here. District 7 Scrooge.
Here.
We've established a quorum, Madam Chair.
And as you know, we did not have a work session. This Monday was the Memorial Day. I do hope you took time from your busy schedule to remember those who gave the supreme sacrifice. It was my privilege to go to Fort Benning, and they had it at the Post Cemetery, which is very moving. And we did have it in Fort Mitchell also, I understand. So every day we need to remember those who served in military and who are serving, the men and women. Before we have the agenda to approve, I got word that Mr. Screws needs to make a request.
Yes, Madam Chair. I would like to have the ambulance billing moved down to business item, but also leave it at the discussion. So after the discussion on the billing, if we would like to vote on some take some action, we can, and we would not have to, do anything else, or we can just table it until next time, either way. But if it's possible, to move it down to business.
I have no idea
Well,
what
I'm
we're
making
gonna
an
talk
informed
about,
motion.
so I don't even know what we're gonna talk about right now.
Yeah, and I don't
I'm
either.
prepared to move it to business.
Normally, if we put it on the business, we're gonna make a decision,
Well, we can table it.
because I don't see any information in our packet to make a
not in.
decision on. So, I don't know.
Well, shall we leave it under discussion then, or what?
Whoever who makes the motion to approve the agenda can do it the way they want to, and see how the vote comes out. It depends on how you want to approve this agenda.
There's some information in the package on that, on the discussion, Commissioner.
I couldn't hear.
Ms. Helps says some information in your package.
But it doesn't say what it's about. I mean,
It says ambulance building, and then it got some numbers on here with some, but it don't say, we had these before, this is no change.
Okay, that's what I understand.
That's what we will discuss. Yes.
Yeah, we're good with discussing.
Okay, I don't have any problem with discussion, I just didn't know we'd be ready to act on anything.
I'm saying if we, after the discussion, if we are ready to make a move, we can. If not, we can table it.
So your motion would be to approve the agenda with having the ambulance vote under business and discussion?
Yes.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you poll the commission?
Yes, ma'am. District 1 Lee,
Yes.
District 2 Pugh,
Yes.
District 3 Martin.
Yes.
District 4 Reeves.
Yes.
District 5 Epps. Yes. District 6 Corbett.
Yes.
District 7 Scrooge.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you. In our packet is the minutes from our previous meeting, May 13th. I trust you have read these. It's rather lengthy. but,
Motion to approve?
Have a motion to
I'll
approve
second.
as a second?
I just got one question. I hope it's a correction. It's not really that much,
Okay.
but somewhere where I said it would put teeth in the committee, I think it got written down as tooth. I hope I didn't say that.
Where is that at, Commissioner?
That's on the second page in the third paragraph. A little tooth. And I may have said it. I don't know, but I hope I didn't.
I love spell check. Oh, Lord.
Okay, with that correction, and I'm sure Beth would make that.
She will.
All right. And we have a motion to approve, seconded, and so would you poll the commission?
Be glad to. District 1 Lee.
Yes.
District 2 Pugh.
Yes.
District 3 Martin.
Yes.
District 4 Reeves.
Yes.
District 5 Epps. Yes. District 6 Corbett.
Yes.
District 7 Scrooge.
Yes.
Madam Chair, can we go back to the agenda? We approved adding the discussion to
comes to that, but we did not really approve the agenda.
Oh, I did. I thought that's what we voted on.
That's what he was,
To approve the agenda with
moving
that
the figure.
change.
Okay, misunderstood, thank you.
okay, we do have a proclamation, and I don't know if Mr. Patrick Smith is here or not, to represent the Macon and Russell Community Action. They had emphasis for the month of May, and he called us, he wanted a proclamation. So I think we can just vote on it and maybe send it to them. What do you think, Ms. Epps?
Madam Chair,
Madam Chair, I can present it at the next meeting since
Okay.
I'm a member of the board representing the commissioners.
Okay. Commissioner Reed?
oh, I was just gonna take that proclamation on the 280 bypass, because that's where the office is, on 280 bypass, and they'll give it to them.
I think,
Was-
for to present it to the board, I think it would be more appropriate, since the director's not here, to take it to the board. But since I'm I'm just saying,
That's
since I'm a part of the
right.
board, after you all approve it, I can present it to them at the next meeting.
Okay, that'd be
That
fine.
makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Okay,
fine.
let's hold the commission.
Okay, did I get a motion in a second? To
I
approve?
think we
Didn't
did.
you have a motion?
Did we have a motion?
We did.
Oh,
You didn't
did?
hear it?
Okay, let's do it. Motion and a second, please.
I motion to approve the proclamation.
Thank you.
And I second, Madam Chairman.
District 1 Lake?
Yes.
District 2 Pugh?
Yes.
District 3 Martin?
Yes.
District 4 Reed?
Yes.
District 5 F?
Yes.
District 6 Corbett?
Yes.
District 7 Scrooge?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We've got to be flexible here, folks. Okay, discussion items, the ambulance building, and we'll start off with Mr. Scrooge, please.
Yes, Madam Chair. First of all, let me thank the committee that worked on the building to get it where it is. But in looking at where we are with the ambulance building, it looks as though we're over budget. I met with Ms. Horn, Richard, and George, and Scott. It looks like we've got a building that's 3,100 square feet, which if we bid it out, and if the going price is $129, it would come to $402,000. If we did it in-house with Richard and George doing it, the material alone would cost us $284,000, and that does not include labor. We only budgeted $150,000 for the building itself, and you can see that we're way over budget.
Well, the estimates are way over budget, we're not
Yes,
way over budget.
yes, the estimate. We have already, out of the $150,000, we have already spent $20,514, which only leave us $129,486 to actually build the building. What I'm suggesting to the commission is that we decrease the size of the building and make it suitable for the ambulance service. In that suggestion, I'm saying that we need to make it a 1,500 square foot building. Only the ambulance service will be using the building. I'm also saying that we continue to use the outside of the building where Scott drew it up to maintain the, I guess, the beauty side of it, so it will correlate with the middle school, and which will, make it presentable down there. We allow Richard and George to actually build the building. In talking to them, they have assured me that they can build this building with the money that we have left over, which is $129,000. The building itself, the contents of it will have a day room, a kitchenette, a bathroom, a storage or service room, a parking ornament, which means that the truck will go on an ornament rather than inside a bay. It would have heating and air, electrical, plumbing, the concrete, the brick siding, which shows on the original building, the metal roof, and the grass area or landscape. And I think that we can get this done for the amount that we have budgeted, if we all can agree.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Commissioner, it sounds like you've had a lot of meetings about this. Have you even talked to the ambulance service or the sheriff or anybody about it?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, we did, and I think it would be good before we take action on this to at least talk with them and make sure that they can function in that area. The idea behind the trucks being indoors, I don't know how you'd feel about being picked up at 2 o'clock in the morning at 30-degree weather. Those ambulances get cold, and the fluids and the drugs and everything else in them too. That was the idea behind putting it enclosed. I have worked on an ambulance for many years and have seen elderly people get in the back of those ambulances 20 degrees and the stretchers and everything being cold. That ambulance is stationed in the county to lessen the response time for the ambulance to get there. So that means if, let's say you live in Seal, they've got a short response time at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they get there and it's 20 degrees outside. It's not going to be a very comfortable ride. That was the idea behind trying to put it indoors. I understand trying to save the money, but I'm not sure that's the drain on the budget was the enclosure for the ambulance to go in. I think that more the drain was the size of the building. I have no problem at all with what you said. It sounds to me like you want to cut out the sheriff's substation, which I'm fine with that. I would love for the sheriff to weigh in on that, but I'm fine with that if that's what we vote to do. But again, this wasn't a decision that went up into this. I got involved in it only because I got people calling saying, hey, we've been talking about building this building for 2 years and the ground ain't even broke. Why haven't we done anything on it? As soon as Mr. Friend took over, when Ms. Horn was out, I backed out of it completely and haven't had another conversation about it. But I don't necessarily like the idea of us coming up here from several meetings that were had last week or the week before and making decisions when the folks that are going to be using the building haven't even been involved in the discussions. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Commissioner Corbett, my question to Ms. Horn and the other ambulance buildings, do they have a warming area for the trucks? And the answer was no.
Oh, absolutely. Were the roads paved in 1932? But no, we pave them today, don't we?
Yeah,
We try to make them
that's
better,
true.
and I agree with what you're saying. But yeah, if you go to any city, any county that actually puts money into a facility, they don't park the trucks outside, Commissioner. We've been having to make do with what we have. Your fire trucks are all parked indoors. They're parked indoors we could just park all the fire trucks outdoors too, but fire stations aren't built that way. Ambulance services aren't built that way. If we're going to build something and we're taking county money to build it, why are we going to, build the cheapest thing we can build? Why not build it for something that we can use for years to come? Now, I understand the idea of maybe your idea is that we can come back later and add on to it, but if we function like that every day, how many times do we say we're going to go do and we never do? I'd rather just go ahead and try to, do it up front. Maybe we can drop it down to one bay. Maybe we can drop the size of the building down and knock the sheriff's substation out of it. Maybe we can do less on the parking pad. There's a lot of things that could be done, but several people put a lot of work into this process for us to be coming up here just by a couple of meetings with county workers and making decisions like that. I understand it's over budget, the estimates are, and that's unfortunate. Maybe we didn't budget enough for what we're trying to do. I also don't want to, and you did reference this, and I appreciate that, don't want to make the area look bad because you got two of the nicest schools in the county right there. We want to make it look good. Having a little lean-to with a truck parked up under it's not necessarily my idea of making it look good. So I don't want to argue with you by any means. I appreciate your work you've done on it because I appreciate that it's moving forward, and I'm open. I'll try to keep an open mind on anything, but I would like to see the ambulance parked indoors for not only patient comfort but also just regular aesthetics to the community. But I'd also like to see if there's a way to save the sheriff's substation, great. If not, then maybe that's the first thing that needs to roll out.
Do you have an idea where the extra money would come from?
I have no idea. Commissioner, I was not invited to your meetings. I didn't know you had them till after you had them. So if I'd have been involved, I'd have been absolutely, this is the first time I've heard anything about this.
If you'd have been there, it'd have been an illegal meeting anyway.
2 commissioners? Yeah. Okay.
But now, the problem with this was from the very beginning, and we were advised that for the type of building that we were requiring was gonna be $350,000 to $450,000, and we said, no, we can do it for $150,000, and we put $150,000. That was when the problem started. We were advised then we can't do it. We should have just struck it off then and forgot about it if we wasn't willing to spend the $400,000. And so that's where we are now, and I'm not willing to vote to go this much over a budgeted amount. Now, we can look at it again next year and see what we're gonna budget, but I just can't be in favor of, spending this much, because I kinda agree with Commissioner Corbett. If we're gonna build something, let's do it at least partially adequate. Now, the keeping ambulances inside, in a heated area, I don't know whether I agree with that. They can be enclosed, like my garage at home is enclosed. It's not heated and air conditioned, but it don't get 30 degrees in there. The coldest it gets in there is 55 degrees. And so, I don't know that we need it, but that's details that we don't need to be debating right now. We've already got an estimate. We hired an architect, paid him a lot of money. To me, our only decision now is whether to put it out to bid and be prepared to get over $400,000 bid, or just wait until the next budget year.
Madam Chairman, I just want to ask Ms. Horn a question. Ms. Horn, I just want to know, do you have any more project, that we can cut back on, just go ahead and go ahead and improve and work with this ambulance thing? I like to see this, we go ahead and move forward. And we just had to cut these other projects. I think these other projects can just wait.
We're not gonna cut any projects. I don't wanna cut my project.
I don't wanna cut mine.
Madam
Chair.
If y'all,
If I had one, I don't want to cut it.
Commissioner Pugh has the floor.
That's why we got it under discussion. We've got some thoughts from different commissioners, and I think it would be ill-advised to try to move today on anything. Let's look at what it would cost maybe just to shell out the building.
Sure.
In this part of the budget and get it built. And then maybe at the next budget, finish it out, if that's possible. Or if not, cut back and do away with, like you were saying, some of the heated space. But if we've already paid an architect to give us a design, we need to be looking at trying to use that design if we can. I don't think we can settle it this morning, but I think we can work it out, so it's gonna be, both affordable and the right thing for the citizens down there.
Well, maybe we can do I'm sorry, Madam Chair, maybe we can do the project in phases too. And Commissioner Screws didn't mention this, but maybe this is the way he was thinking, or maybe not. Do the stick building portion where they reside in, and be prepared in the next budget to do something with the metal portion of the building to park the vehicles in. I just think we ought to do this the right way going into it. Now, I disagree with Commissioner Lee in the sense that we were ready to do 400,000. I don't think it ever came to that, but I hope it doesn't.
Oh, we were told that now, believe me.
Yeah, well, I know Scott was saying that to a lot of folks. Scott here? No?
Madam Chair,
But I just think that we ought to really look at, if we're gonna take another step at this, we ought to take a look at maybe making it smaller. I don't really know a lot of areas in there you can cut out, because most of the areas that were in there were, from what I could tell, looked like they needed to be there, other than the sheriff's substation. That is something that was added in late as a last minute. I hate to cut that out. I really do, because, you've got a place there where we can have the sheriff's office there in the middle of the county, but if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But I think we need to take a long look at this before we start making approvals. And the last thing I want to mention too is staying in the budget. Commissioner Screws said, I think we need to stay in the budget. Well, none of us are architects. None of us are design, none of us know how to budget for that. We budgeted based on being county commissioners, something we thought that might be able enough to build the building. I mean, the budget is only as good as what we made it to be. I mean, I made as an educated decision based on what people were telling me. That budget really is just something that we approved. If we need to scrap that and go a different direction, that's fine too.
Commissioner Epps.
Thank you. My question is, did I understand that the building going to cost about $400,000 and we only budget $150,000? Is that what I heard?
That's what Commissioner Lee said.
Okay, have it been bidded out yet? So at this point, we really don't know exactly how much the building going to cost until we get some bids on it. Am I correct on that?
Correct.
Okay. So, if we don't know exactly how much it's going to cost, we know how much we have spent already. Can we just get the bids on, send out the bids and see what the bids will come into, and then come back and discuss it at that time?
Madam
If-
Chair,
Okay.
I just want to explain, Commissioner Epps, that the commercial estimate was double that of what, and again, the plans that were, we received estimates on were those that were provided by the architect. And the figures that you're looking at are the figures that came back through our building department to do it in-house. If we let the bids for commercial, what I'm being told is that it would be double that. But again, we don't have a final answer on the commercial price until it is bid.
Do we have a, Madam Chair, do we have a, or Madam Administrator, do we have a estimate on what the portion that the vehicle would be parked in, alone costs? Do we have an estimate on that yet?
Yes, but I really don't want to make those.
Okay, that's fine,
Okay.
okay. So we do have some groundwork on that,
Yes, sir, we have it broken down in different stages. Yes, sir.
okay.
Madam Chair?
Here's the
Yes.
problem, excuse me, Madam Chair. I think Commissioner Legals first.
Well, I just wanted to ask a question of the administrator. How much did the sheriff's detective building cost?
300,000.
Yeah, at least. It came in around 600,000, and we reduced that by half by
But-
building it in.
And isn't it like 3 times as big as this building? Not counting the storage part now for the vehicle.
No,
No.
It's not 3 times as big.
It's twice as big.
I don't even think it's twice, I'll be honest. I don't remember what the square footage was.
Here, Madam Chair, one of the things that we're not considering is that the fire department in Seal is kind of up in arms wanting something done. And that's one of the reasons why I looked at the building to see if we could get it started, because it appeared that Mr. Sellers will be finished out at Ladonia this week, and we can get going on this building and bring some relief down in the Seal Fire Department area. We've been at this for almost a year and a half, and we've gone back and forth and so forth. So my thinking is that we need to go ahead and do something. To spend this kind of money, you know, I don't know whether this is the right thing to do at this particular time. I hope that the commission will look at what we budgeted and try to work within that budget amount. And let's see if we can get this building done, and give an area for the ambulance service. And let's get this out of the way and move forward.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Based on what I'm hearing at the table, I think we do need to take some action under the business, and I would say that what we do is probably let it go out to bids, get a bid back, then based on that bid, then we can determine whether we want to get involved building it ourselves or contract it out. They can give us a price on just shelling it out, and then in the second budget, picking the other part up. So, I'm ready to move on. If it's okay.
I would think we need to be expeditious with getting the bids, as you say, out, and then get back to us. So we can make
Then we'll
a
know exactly where we're at for the market.
Well, are we moving it now to business?
Well, it's already under
It's
business.
already under business.
Okay.
So
Well, then,
we're okay.
Is there a motion to the effect about what?
Well, that was just a discussion item, so we can move on if you don't mind.
Next item is
Okay,
purchasing a truck.
all right. Request to purchase 3/4-ton pickup truck, Mr. Kite.
Is it budget?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. I would like to add, though, I don't want to add any more challenges to the ambulance building, but I don't think they're ready to go to work because we haven't constructed the pad yet, and we haven't been given that green light. But we've got about 3 weeks of work where we will have to pull off other projects to get the grading site prepared for the building, so that needs to be taken into consideration. The truck that I'm requesting was budgeted, is approved in our budget. The funds are approved in the budget. We're requesting purchase off of state bid, a 2015 Dodge 2500 crew cab, 3/4-ton pickup truck from Ben Atkinson Motors in the amount of $26,293. This will be a Foreman crew vehicle, haul crews in with the foreman.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chairman,
I guess,
I just want to ask Larry, do we really need that truck, or we need to be more mindful with the taxpayer money, because that's gonna come to a time,
Yes.
our revenue's gonna start being cut,
would-
so
I
we need
wouldn't-
to be more conservative.
Yes, we are. I wouldn't be requesting it if it wasn't absolutely needed.
Motion to
So
approve.
moved. Second, Madam Chair.
okay, motion and a second.
District 1 Lee,
Yes.
District 2 Pugh,
Yes.
District 3 Martin.
Yes.
District 4 Reed,
Yes.
District 5 L,
Yes?
District 6 Corbett.
Yes.
7 Scrivens.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Let me just say, in response to Commissioner Reed, that it's been my observation that things have changed, I say in the last 10 years or maybe more, but when engineering department puts a used item up for sale, because I've looked at them, because I thought I might want to buy one, they're pretty much done. I mean, so when he has to replace one, and it's probably needed, because you know, I've always said we can fix things and keep them going, but it gets to a certain point that you can't do that. Probably for personal use, it would last forever, but when you have county using these vehicles, they're kind of rough on them, and that's just the nature of the game. But I've looked at some of these trucks and stuff that he's surplused out, and they may be good for a fender or something, but not much good to put on the road.
We're gonna have about a 40-year-old Army roller up for sale soon. It's, I think we paid a few hundred for it, but it needs about 6,000 now. to fix
Well,
the
it's
motor.
probably worth more in weight than it is in
think so.
anything.
We've definitely gotten our use out of that one. We'd like to move on. The next item is a funding agreement for an eight-trip, a prior approved eight-trip project, federally funded, which was approved also by the commission for us to proceed with. AlDOT is ready to open bids this Friday, and this is for County Road 137, which is old US 431. There's 7 sites, and the County Road 137 has various names now. This is the agreement for the county to participate in the county share of the funding and allow the project to be awarded. The original approved amount was, of A-TRIP funding, was $1,840,000, which, and these were our estimates going back 2 or 3 years ago when we applied for A-TRIP funding, which would have put the county's portion at $260,000 after adding in $200,000, which was given to us by the state as additional funding for this project. Our estimate when we submitted plans this last time was $1,883,000 of the federal portion, which was about $43,000 over our original budget. The state's estimate just came back to us at $2.297 million, which is $457,000 over the federally funded portion. We don't anticipate it going that high, but who knows? But historically, the last projects we've done, they've come in real close to our estimate, and so we've been close to right, and I hope we are. And this won't be an issue. The monies the county pays is based on the actual bid amounts, not this funding agreement that you have, but that's what has to be presented. If it were to come in over, I did have to write a letter saying that we would utilize our other A-TRIP funds for other that has been approved for other projects for this project to proceed, and that would not be real popular. But the worst case, some of these last A-TRIP projects that come up, we could use other federal funds, including MPO monies or our regular federal allocation, so we'll still be able to get these projects done. But again, we'd like to just wait and see what the bids come in at, and hopefully it won't be an issue. And in addition to that, the projects we've already done for A-TRIP, we are about a $279,000 to the good. That was a $351,000 underrun on Cottonton Road, and we were $72,000 over on Switchy. So with that $279 that we've come in under, worst case, the $457,000 the state has said it could come in at, we'd have to make up a difference of $177,000. But I feel like that $177,000 and probably a good bit more will be will come out when the bids come in at a lower amount, so.
If
So-
the state is correct on their estimate, what other projects would be in jeopardy of taking money from those projects to fund this one?
Well, we would be able to use, first of all, that 279,000 that we've already saved. That would leave, like I said, if they were right, 177,000 we had to make up. The last project on the list was Crosswinds Road, which was 125,000 allocated. We could use MPO funds, other MPO funds for that if we had to, and then that would leave about 50. Clark and Auburn Road were the last two that are scheduled to let in about September. We could make up that 50,000 with our regular federal funding allocation that we get. We get 533,000 per year. But, you know, I sure hope we don't have to. The state has been well over actual bid amounts with their estimates the last several projects we've let. So I will report back to you and let you know exactly how it shakes out Friday.
Let's don't cut out the only District 6 project you got, okay?
We won't cut out any.
After I fought for this A-Trip money like I did,
We
cut out the
won't-
only project.
Yeah, we
so.
won't cut out any A-Trip projects. We just
Okay.
will have to use other federal funds that are available.
Well, when can you find out about the MPO money? I mean, when will you know for Crosswinds whether that money?
Well, you know,
can-
Crosswinds is $1 million estimated project, and we only have 125,000 A-Trip, so we already
Right.
had plans to use a sizable portion of
Is the
MPO
city on
money.
board with that too?
Yeah, it's in the transportation improvement plan been approved in the,
So
by the MPO.
when might you know whether we can, we'll
We
have
just have to
money
go
spend?
back and ask them to increase it. Friday, when the bid's open, we'll know
Okay.
where we stand on.
I'd just like to stay ahead of that
So-
because now that Crosswinds is completely in my district after we redistricted, I rode down it again the other day and was, you know, it's getting pretty bad as far as the slides will go and everything. So just, I want to keep that on the radar. I don't want
Yeah,
to lose that anyway.
Regardless of how these bids come in, I don't anticipate changing any scheduling with the A-Trip projects. There's a big question of where we have to make
Let's
up the
talk
funds.
about the only road that's in Commissioner Corbett's district. I noticed some of the,
Hang on now, I'm not going to go talk about the golf course.
wait a minute, I own property on that road. I got an interest. I noticed, I don't wanna waste money on that road again, that's what I'm saying, cause we have resurfaced that. But some of the patches are holding good, and some of them are settling. So are we planning on doing something on those that are settling before we try to resurface?
Yes, sir. We're
Okay.
figuring that in to do some additional patching. And a lot of them have held, which is good. You know, I was concerned that if they all started falling apart again, we'd just up the cost.
Okay.
But
That building, and for the commissioners that don't remember, not building, I'm still stuck on the building. That road, was getting in pretty bad shape, and he went through and did some leveling in 2013, and it has made it a lot better, but it is still not a good road by any means. It needs to be resurfaced, so I agree with Commissioner Lee. And I have asked Mr. Kite that same question, you know, are we gonna, because I can already hear the contractor coming in saying, oh, this has got to be fixed and this has got to be fixed, making sure that we're ready for it. So, but I would like, when we pull off of that, not to have to do anything with that road for years to come.
Okay. If I could, I'll just read the particulars of the agreement here. And this is authorizing the chair and the county administrator to sign the agreement as well as a resolution. We don't have the original yet. They needed this before our next commission meeting meets, but they have not had time to get the original to me. They faxed this agreement. It's for project number ACNU 59571-ATRP, parentheses 016, RCP 57-037-12, and A-Trip 57-03-11. And as I said, it's 7 sites: Glenville Highway, Pittsview Highway, Old Sill Highway, a section of Prudence Road, Cutchin Drive, Uchee Hill Highway, and Seal Road. And the funding agreement is, estimate is $2,297,272 A-Trip funds, $200,000 state public road and bridge funds, $374,318 county funds, and we anticipate that to be about $100,000 less than that. That's where the difference will come from, based on the bid amounts.
Madam Chair, Mr. Engineer, Mr. Kite, did you mention the bridge. They're in Pittsview already. Did I miss that? I may
Separate
have been
project,
reading.
two,
Okay.
two bridges scheduled to let, I have to look at a letter.
But obviously that bridge is gonna be completed before
Later this
this
summer.
project goes through, or
No,
in the same time?
the bridges are let later this summer
Okay,
and don't anticipate them being completed till next summer.
okay.
So we'll have to come back in and do a little bit of approach work, but we're just putting a bridge.
Where's the second one at? I know the one just past Pittsview, just past PJ's grocery.
It's the middle bridge,
Oh,
right
yeah.
below
I got you.
the water, the
I forgot
utilities,
about
station there.
Yeah, forgot about that.
It's a wooden substructure bridge.
Motion
I'd like to
approve,
ask
Madam Chair.
something about my district. The Cut Rate Road Bridge, when is that gonna start? You know?
I'm afraid to say, but, you know, I've been the city is handling that project, and they have a consultant, and it keep getting delays, and I'm real concerned about it, because it's a round 2 A-trip project, and round 2 A-trip projects are supposed to be let by December 15. So if you ask the consultant or the city, they'll tell you December 15, but I don't see it happening. We've still got to acquire right-of-way and utilities. I think because they've been pursuing it, I don't see that money getting pulled. I sure hope, but I've been having a lot of conversations about it and been very concerned, but we're not directly in the mix other than paying for half the project. So it may come to having to write some letters and get involved. What right-of-way would we have to, because you got two bridges there almost next to each other, taking one out, look like that would give you enough right-of-way. The new bridge going on Opelika Road is gonna be so much larger that you can't tie Cut Rate in. You would either have to dead end Cut Rate, but we didn't wanna do that, so Cut Rate's gonna tie into
Okay.
Opelika Road further north.
I see.
So we'll need some
I
there.
see.
It'll be some sort of a swap, but also, and I think the city needs additional right-of-way also just for the bridge itself along Opelika because of the size of the bridge. You notice how low it is to the water now. It's, to meet codes, it has to be
Well, the
higher and longer.
property owner there really doesn't want the bridge replaced, does he?
I hadn't heard that, but,
Madam Chair, can I offer a motion?
Yeah, we're getting away from it. Go ahead. This is what,
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Call the commission.
District 1 Lee?
yes,
District 2 Pierce?
Yes.
District 3 Martin?
Yes.
District 4 Reed?
Yes.
District 5 L?
Yes.
District 6 Court?
Yes.
District 7 Scrooge?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
And Mr.
Madam Chair,
Kite.
before Mr. Kite leave, may I say something?
Sure.
I would like to thank you for taking care of polling 2, District 5 and District 5 for voting posts 2, the building. It looks good. I had so many citizens out there have told me how well it looked and want to say thank you for the work. And it really does look good. Thank you.
good, yes, ma'am.
Right here out front, can you do something about that?
The parking lot?
Right, there, it's, just keeps getting worse. The asphalt, the rain and everything. I understand, we're in the city, but that's our property, right?
The parking lot or the,
Yeah, as you pull in.
okay.
You hadn't
I
seen
didn't
that ditch, I think?
well, yeah, it comes from,
I have noticed it. The parking lot really needs to be researched.
the whole parking lot needs to be
I don't know
redone.
if we have,
We're gonna turn that to the
The
city.
best thing to do on that would be contract it out. I mean, for us to come up here and do all that.
I can definitely come patch that hole, but if we,
Yeah, if that's what,
I would rather call a contractor, have him come pave the parking lot if we can do that.
Can we do something about the water that drains, that you step across out there?
That's the city's water.
That city,
Get the city.
It's the
to-
city's water. It's where they water, it's where they water that grass and all up there.
I can look at it. We'd probably have to put in inlets and pipe though, and and then it's got to go somewhere, and it's probably have to go all the way to the river, so.
Cause it's always wet, no matter how dry it is. It's not rainwater.
Okay, I'll put
you'll
that on our
handle it.
list.
Thank you.
The paving.
Madam Administrator, do you have something?
You're not through.
No, we got the
We got
two
one
big
more
ones to come up.
Oh, yes. Mr. Friend, I forgot. I'm sorry. Building code.
I'd like to forget.
Madam Chair, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Okay. On the 11th of May, Mr. Smith came up here and gave a presentation and presented some packets containing significant changes between the 2006 and 2012 building codes and the 2005 and the 2011 electrical codes, and also give a PowerPoint presentation. At that time, Mr. Smith asked the commission will go over the packets. He would be back during the next commission meeting and asked that the commission would adopt the newer codes. Now, what we're suggesting or recommending or asking for is we would like to go from the 2006 International Building Codes to 2012 International Building Codes for both residential and commercial, and go to the 2005 National Electrical Codes to the 2011 National Codes, which is presently, which the state has. The 2015 codes are out. Traditionally, nobody adopts them the first year around because they wait for the changes or any additions or any amendments they have to the law. Plus, we try to stay within our surroundings within the county, the rest of the counties, to just kind of be with them and not surpass them and jump to something newer. If this is approved, we probably won't be back for at least 3 to 4 years to ask for the next upgrade. We're trying to just kind of stay up to right now what we're receiving architectural drawings and prints and asking to approve stuff when this stuff is dated 2012, and we're using the 2011 codes. Excuse me, 2006. So since these architectural plans are being given to us, the contractor already knows that they're under the 2012. They've seen these plans, or the contractors are. So it would be a lot easier for us to be able to just go along with the same codes or the same rules and regulations that we're being submitted these plans for. There are some pros and cons. A lot of people don't want to upgrade to them. The only upgraded difference we've seen in the changes that Mr. Smith and I have went over were because of safety issues. There are a couple issues that in the new adopting the code would help. For an example, Monday, Greg and Mr. Martin went out to final a house. Contractor called and said, we have this house we're trying to final. I've got a sale for it. They went out to do the final inspection on it. All the the smoke detectors were not in the bedrooms. What that means is he's going to have to cut the sheetrocks out of the ceilings and the walls to find the hard wiring, because the 2006 code requires that the smoke detectors be hardwired. To whereas if we were under 2012 code, they would be allowed to just put what they call a digital wireless system in, which is a box, and then a smoke detector, which is required for each bedroom and in each hallway if it's within 10 foot of the bedroom. So what we're asking for we feel that would actually help the county quite a bit.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I don't want to throw cold water on the process, but I have too many questions. And some of these questions I've asked Mr. Friend, and the answers were not on point, so I'm not so sure that they understand enough about what they're telling us that when we adopt it here, that we know what we're doing. And what I'm going to say is that I would like to put this, I'm going to make a motion that we table this for this reason, and I'm going to explain the reason. I mean, there are 2015 codes out. Why should we adopt? I was talking to the people at the state and said, why are you going to adopt 2012 and 2015's out? And I said, well, I don't know that. And by us using the codes we're using, if any code is greater than that, that doesn't mean they cannot do it. And that doesn't mean that what we do is code enforcement, that an architect would draw up to have in the building, that anyone who bids it has to go by that architectural design. It just says it will have the minimum of our safety codes. So based on those things and me not really understanding, and I don't think our department understands what they're asking us to do, then I'm going to ask that we, and the fact that it cannot take effect until October if we voted on it today anyway, so it's not going to do anything about what's going on. I'm going to ask that we go back and bring the 2015 codes back to this table and let us look at it and let us, if we're going to adopt, this be up to date and move on. That's a formal motion.
Madam Chairman,
But he made a motion.
well, I think we
Okay.
should go ahead and vote on this. I ain't tabling.
You know what you're voting on? I second Commissioner
Oh,
Pugh.
we have a second, okay.
Now I got a question.
All right.
All right, you said, and I don't know what they are, so I hope you do. I'm gonna ask about some of the surrounding counties. Macon County, what code they under? None. Okay. Bullock County,
Well, that's, you follow?
that's Union Springs.
They don't have one.
None at all. Barber County,
That's you follow. In the city, they do?
no, city,
Okay,
county,
The county does not.
none. Lee County,
They do.
they own the 212.
They're on 2012 and the 11 electrical.
Okay, and Chambers County.
That's the one that's.
They're in the process, they're
So
talking.
none.
They don't.
None.
Right.
Okay, so of all the surrounding counties, only one has any at all. Okay, that's answering my question. I just wanted to know.
Bill, Madam Chairman, Bill, I'd like to ask you a question concerning this right here. Do y'all need for this to be voted on today or what? If y'all in a,
Mr. Reed, the reason we were trying to get, yes, and the reason is, Mr. Smith has brought this up before. And about, 6, 8, 10 months, I don't remember how long ago, it's been a while, brought it up before and it was turned down. Because we didn't supply enough information, which we were told. So this time, they give a presentation and the information, with hopes that we can get it by.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I was involved with the building code with the new church down on Highway 165, because I understand that the contractor, I think, had the updated codes,
Yes, ma'am?
and then the county had the old codes, and they had gone back and paid like over $1,000 to get something done in that building, and it came to a great debate or discussion, and they even asked me to bring back to the county that we need to reimburse them. In the conversation, you all was there.
Correct, it was sort of fire suppression system.
Right, and the pastor was nice enough to say he wasn't going to put me in that situation, so they would just eat the money that they had spent for this upgrade. Now, my concern, if we have a building, if we have people that is working in this field, they're out there every day looking at buildings and coming back and making inspection and whatever. And I think if the county commissioners have hired this person or these personnel to do this, I don't think we should handicap them and not letting them do their job and be more efficiently in doing their job. Because really, I'm not out there every day. I don't know. But I were here when we first started this building inspection department. Am I right like that, Ms. Horn?
Yes,
And I remember it was a mess. I'm telling you. But since we're in it, and I think it's something is good, there's a good idea, and they are doing a good job. And if we keep putting off, and keep putting off, and keep putting off, it's going to be right just like the sewer. You're not going to get it. We still don't have that. And the only thing we do is come up and talk about it, and talk about it. So why can't we go ahead, in my opinion, and adopt what they have brought to us? And then when in 2015 come up, you can always approve it later. You can make an amendment. You have, like he said, we had to October. So why don't we give them the opportunity to go ahead and do their jobs, so they will not be put in a situation as they were the other day? I understand when they went out and they got to have the sprinklers in a certain way, but if they was on the updated code, they would not be put in that type of a situation. That's just my sermon on that this
All right, Madam Chair,
Yes.
as most of y'all know, I worked in the building industry for 30 years, and I worked with plumbing codes, electrical codes, and building codes. And I never have had an experience where a new code was less restrictive than an old code. So why did we have to go through this? I don't understand why you even had to adopt the code if it was part of the code where you had an upgrade that didn't require something. I don't understand how that works, because
Most of the time, they add to them, like I said in the presentation, to make them.
because the codes are just minimum. The codes are the minimum that can be done, not the best, not the safest, not whatever, it's the minimum. So if somebody's building a house and they putting something in it that's been adopted in a later code, then you would think that that would be above the minimum of the previous code. So why couldn't it just be approved?
Well, in the case of the smoke detectors, though, that, Commissioner, that would have, if we'd had the 212s adopted, they would have been able to put that system in without tearing into the walls and the ceilings. Yes, it was an oversight from the contractor, but it would have been a way to keep them from going back and tearing that house up and possibly losing a sale, and the house is estimated $265,000.
Well, it's not, I mean, it's real easy to cut a hole in sheet rock and find a wire. Anybody knows that. It's not that difficult. You're making it sound like it's a major project, but.
The wire's in the ceiling somewhere, though.
Well, all my wires are in the
Two-story
ceiling.
house.
All my wires are in the ceiling, and I've crawled around every one of them. But anyway, that's just, I'm in favor of Commissioner Pugh's motion. I think I seconded it, didn't I?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate this, especially to Commissioner Else. The action we take today, even if they were to adopt, would not be able to put into place until after October. So by us not voting today is not going to harm anything, but will allow us the time to look at the 2015 and feel comfortable about what we're doing is the right thing. So all I'm saying is, if you do something today that if you approve what they're asking, they can't implement that. That's not going to give them relief tomorrow. It'll be after October before they can use those codes. So why not, let's err on the side of caution. Let's look at the 2015, vote one time and move on.
And again, Madam Chair,
is not before you based on what you said.
and Madam Chair.
Yes.
I guess what my concern is we were tried to sell us on this by telling us that we want to keep up with the surrounding counties. I think we should have said surrounding municipalities, because the surrounding counties, we're already above them, way above them. Municipalities is a little different, but, misinformation like that sometimes costs you a vote.
Madam Chair.
Okay.
I just wanted to say a couple things real quick. I don't have a problem with your motion. I understand that it's not going to take effect till October. My concerns are that we're still operating off of something that we all seem to be thinking is out of date now, 2006, when all the municipalities and other jurisdictions are operating off 2012. My question to you, and you mentioned it just a little bit, when do you anticipate, or when is it typical for a jurisdiction to adopt new codes? So 2015's out now. Are they going to adopt it next week? And here we are approving this, and they come and adopt 2015 next week, and then we're behind again? Or is there a grace, not a grace period, is there typically a period that they put in place to weed out all the bugs or to make sure there's not any issues with it? What are we doing
Approximately
there?
3 years, to my understanding.
No, not before they adopt. It's been my experience when I worked in Columbus and Phoenix City, when the new code comes up, like 215, they let it sit a year for revisions and amendments and all that. Like Phoenix City's going to adopt the 2015 next year. I don't know exactly when, in April, I think. But I don't know of any municipality or county that adopts the year it comes out, because there's so many amendments and revisions.
Well, let me ask you that. That's a good point. I believe, and I firmly believe, I was a department head at one time, you're there to bring stuff like this to us, and we're supposed to, hopefully believe that you have done your homework and you know what you're bringing to us. Would it make sense for us to adopt it today if 15 is going to be next year? Why not just wait till next year and do 15? I mean, is there a downside to that? I'm asking you that. I know.
I don't know that there's a downside, but at some point you got to move up.
I know, but what I'm worried about is we're going to move up to 12, and as soon as everybody starts getting used to 12, now we're into 15. We're adopting that next. Right. You might bring that to us in January and say, hey, I want to do this now. And we went, 6, 7 months there of a new code, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I understand your issues that you're coming with, the fire alarm or the smoke detectors and other things. I agree with what Commissioner Lee said in the fact that most of the time you're not gonna have a issue like that. Most of the time, if they're doing it based on 12, you're gonna pass them on 6.
Well,
But I'm not really in favor necessarily of making the change now and then come back in January and making the change again, if that's what you're thinking about doing. If you're thinking about doing that, then I'd urge you just to back and say, hey, let's just wait on 15 to get here,
and then
if
in
that's
2
what you're
years,
thinking.
The 18 will be out.
Right.
And where do you
Well,
where do you stop?
yeah, that's true.
And I've been trying for
Good point.
over a year to get this one adopted.
Yeah, that's a good.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
So, I mean,
I have spoken directly with a member of the state board. He said that 2015 is out, and he led me to believe that we could adopt those. All we had to do is just look them over and approve it, but they would not be effective until October. So I don't know that the information that I'm getting here, that we all understand or have done our due diligence. And that's all I'm asking for, is to table this, let us look at it again in 2 weeks to see if the 2015 is available and try to move forward at that time.
Mr. Smith, would you be willing, if you looked at 15, would you be prepared to adopt 15 now? Do you think you're ready to do that? Have you seen any issues with it?
we're gonna have to have some time, no matter which one we adopt, and that was when we was putting the October 1st on.
Would you have time, though?
Implement it tomorrow.
Would you have time if we approve 15? Would you have time, if we approve 15 the next meeting, like Commissioner Pugh's saying, would you be prepared in October to start implementing it?
12 or 15.
Well, maybe that's what we ought to do since 15's already out there. Maybe we ought to go for 15 instead of stopping at 12.
Madam Chairman, Madam Chairman,
Yes.
I think we giving these gentlemen the runaround. I think we need to do away with this department. We're not gonna support the building code.
That a motion?
I honestly believe we need to do away with this department. We're not gonna support Bill Friend. That they go out here and do all this work.
I think we support them a lot, but that don't mean we
Okay.
can't question what they bring to us.
Commissioner
That's what we're here
Scruggs has
for.
the floor.
How many times have we put this off?
This is the third time that I know of. Twice he's been up here before.
For just trying to adopt the 012?
What was the other one for?
The first time, it was the 12, in 13, I believe it was, or 14.
Yes.
And then I was asked to bring it again, so I brought it again. Yes, sir.
It's 12.
Right.
So we've put it off 3 times trying to adopt 012.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's just
12.
approve 15.
Yeah.
I'm good with that, that's fine with me. I mean,
Well, now, according to what they're saying, that it takes a year to work out the bugs or kinks in 15, so that we won't have a problem when we adopt it. That's what I'm hearing?
Well, it came out in January, so we've had, what, 5 months? And there's already some amendments to it, but
So you're saying we need to wait and let them
No.
get the amendments out of the way before we do 15?
not necessarily. We can amend as the state does, but it would've been easier to adopt the 12 because it's already worked out. And like,
It's already outdated, what you're telling me.
Once the,
well, no, I
but
mean,
once the amendments keep coming out, then we have to still go, if they're gonna, and they usually do within the first 12 months, then we gotta back and let the contractors know that there's amendment also, because they don't necessarily go look at all these new codes.
The reason you have amendments, though, is people have already adopted them and are working under them, and they
Yes,
find
sir.
a problem. So we could participate in working under the 215 and help them
work out the problem.
work out some
Commissioner
problems. I mean,
Scruggs?
Madam Chair, so what you're saying is that even though we adopt 12, it's gonna be a continuous process. You're gonna come before us continuously changing the code.
Yes, sir, we
So
should.
if we wait 2 weeks from now, you'll still be back
Till- that's
down the
right.
road to change the
To
codes
change the
again.
code
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If you want the county to stay
Up to date?
modern or what,
Yeah,
as
you-
safe as we can. Or,
You worry me when you talk. I got one house I live in built in 1949 and one built in 1965, and I'm worried about them not being safe.
So what I'm saying, basically, if we vote
I know.
today, it's gonna be a
I know
continuous
that, but
process.
that don't mean
It's not gonna end.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Shall we, I think we've done enough
Yeah.
discussion. Let's
Unless you want
take a vote, please. We have a motion and a second. On the 12.
Now, the motion is Commissioner Pugh's motion.
I thought that he
My
was-
motion
he
was to
wait.
He was a
To the
table.
next session until we could look at the 2015. That's the motion.
Okay, well, the motion on the floor is
And
to
keep
table.
it keep it
No.
in mind, no matter what we adopt today, nothing can be done until October, so what's the difference in waiting 2 weeks if we're erring in the correct way?
Because we
I
keep
got a
waiting.
question, Commissioner.
Yes.
Why can't nothing be done till October?
The 12 can be
Because
done.
that's what the state told me. I asked you, and y'all said y'all did it, but come find out that is the state that has something to do with the business license.
Not on the 12, sir. The 15 can't be adopted to
Right,
1
the
October.
15 can't be adopted.
The 12 can be
the 12
adopted
is in
tomorrow.
effect.
The 15 is, no,
Okay,
I tell
then,
you,
we'll have a vote on the motion. We have a second on that?
Yes.
Okay. Will you poll the commission about the, table?
Well, now, the motion is not to table.
Well, that's what he
Tim
said.
made
The motion-
to table. He made the motion to table.
Okay, that wasn't what I heard.
Madam Chair, before you call that vote, do y'all have any issues? Is it gonna make a difference if we table for 2 weeks or if we do it today? Okay. Proceed on with the question.
Because I heard the motion is wait 2 weeks and let's consider 2015.
well, the motion is to look at the 2015 before we actually vote on anything, but I want to table it in order for them to come back and present 2015.
All right, good enough. That's the first time I had table mentioned.
I don't think
We'll
I'm
vote it,
clear
we'll just
on
let
the
it fall,
motion.
see how it goes.
I'm confused with 2012, 2015. So what are we going, what are we
The
doing?
motion is, if you vote in the affirmative to table, then in 2 weeks, they'll bring back and present the 2015 to see if we can implement it, or if the commission wants to implement it, or go with the 2012.
I'm good with
But
that.
I have
I
another
like
question. I
15.
thought 2015 was still being.
That's what he's
being
telling me, that's
ironed
what
out
the
and
state's telling
amended.
us.
Well, you know,
Madam
That's what we
Chairman,
need to get cleared up.
the motion was to table. I don't want them to table. We just want to vote this down.
No, you can vote it down.
Okay, this is a motion to table.
That's right, for 2 weeks, and it comes back, and if you table it, they're gonna present the 2015, and then we'll vote then to see whether we wanna go with the 15 or whatever.
Madam Chairman, call for the question.
I did. I'll do it again.
We just had to get clarification what we were voting on.
District 1 Lee,
Yes.
District 2 Pugh,
Yes.
District 3 Martin,
No.
District 4 Reed,
No.
District 5 Epps,
no.
District 6 Corbett,
Yes.
District 7 Screws.
No.
Motion failed.
Madam Chairman, at this time, I'd like to make a motion, and we go ahead and move forward with the new code.
With
212, new
What-
code 215.
I think, what you said, 2012?
2012 is what we
Yeah, that's what they came
presented
with.
to you.
Okay, then, yeah, 2012 code.
Is there a second?
Point of order, there's 2 different codes they're requesting. Are we going with both of them or just the 2012? Because they asked for 2011
That
electrical
was
too.
electrical, 2012 building codes and the 2000.
Right, 2012 building codes and 2011 electrical codes. That
There's
we're
2 separate codes there.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Is that in your
That's what we-
motion or?
That's what we-
Okay, I'd like to amend the motion, both of them.
Okay, wait now.
What is it?
We
We
voted on the
repeat that?
2000.
Well, he just said
He gonna have to
2012,
ask the department head to make the vote.
2012, 2011 code, Madam
Okay.
Chairman.
Is there a second to Commissioner Reed's?
I second that.
We
We're
have a
voting
second.
on the one you presenting today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's,
Madam Chair, I'd like to clear this motion up. I'm not, he says 2012 and 2011. Can you state, so you can make the motion, so what you're asking us to approve? The 2012 building codes?
Right, I'm asking to adopt the 2012 building codes and the 2011 electrical codes.
Thank you.
that's fine.
All right. Will you poll the commission?
District 1 Lee,
Well, it seems like the votes are here to pass it. I would normally vote no, but I'm gonna vote yes.
District 2 Pugh,
Yes.
District 3 Martin,
Yes.
District 4 Reed,
Yes.
District 5 Epps,
Yes.
District 6 Corbett.
Yes.
District 7 Screws.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Madam Chair, I would
Yes.
ask for him within a reasonable time before October to bring the 15 back to let us look at them also.
Okay,
You want a comparison like I did with the?
Yes.
Okay.
we'll do the comparison from the 12th to the 15th.
When does the next electrical code come out?
It's out now. There's a 14 out.
Okay.
But no one around us has adopted it yet, so that's
For
why.
clarification, when will this go into effect?
Okay, y'all.
It'll go into effect on 1 October.
Okay, does everyone understand that? What you just voted on goes into effect October 1st.
Okay.
That's to give the contractors and everybody time to adjust to any
So it's not
changes.
gonna give you any
No, so-
immediate relief of your problems you've been talking
I
about.
understand. It will
Thank
not-
y'all. Y'all do
I
a
didn't hear any
fantastic
problem.
job.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Madam Administrator, you have something?
No, but you have the ambulance.
Ambulance.
Oh, we got the ambulance? Okay.
You're trying to get rid of me.
Well, I had put it at the top there. Okay, the ambulance building, here we go.
Let the bids out.
Commissioner Scruggs.
Okay.
Oh, I think that we are voting to let the bids on the original building to bring back a price for, and that's my motion.
Okay,
I'll second that, Madam Chair.
okay. Any questions,
Yes,
discussion?
yes. I understand the process, and I understand it sounds good, but we've got an estimate, and we're pretty sure that it's gonna be somewhere in that range. These contractors go to considerable expense in coming up with these bids. It's not just something they write down on a sheet of paper, so I hate to go into something saying we gonna just see how much it is, and then we're gonna vote against it when we know it's gonna be about 400,000, but I just want to make that as a discussion. I will vote yes.
Madam Chair, I just want to state for the record, Mr. Holmes still has some work to do to prepare to let those for bids. Normally, we state a date and a time. What I would like, if you would allow, is for me to get with Mr. Holmes, inform him that the commission would like for him to proceed. He would bring back the big specs that he's going to let for you at the next meeting, and we can go forward if that's acceptable, because he has to comply with state law.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
has the law changed on these? Can't the architect do the bidding process and we don't even have to participate?
We were gonna do that last meeting, but, I don't think he wasn't able to come.
And he's not here now.
No.
But I mean, we don't even have to do it. You got an architect and he's getting paid.
Madam Chair-
He can run the advertisement.
Madam Chair, I'm motion to table.
Madam Chairman, we already have a motion on the table anyway. Screw already made the motion, and Ms. Epps already done second.
I'm not gonna try to explain it, just keep going. Not even gonna try.
Just so we need,
Motion
we
to
need to
table
go
takes
ahead
it
with
over,
that.
but that's
We
okay.
already got a motion off on the table.
Call for the question.
Well,
Let's
should
get it
we
over with.
remove theirs?
Are you removing your table?
Do what?
Just table it?
I
Well,
No,
think my motion
no.
to table takes precedent.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
knocks your motion right out of the water, so.
Did you
If
make a motion?
No.
I made a motion to table.
I'm saying I didn't hear that.
Screw made a motion, Ms.
Devin.
Epps seconded.
Commissioner.
Table takes precedent.
Table takes precedent over the motion.
That's correct. Take no second.
I need a
Move
second.
on.
No.
I'll second it, but it doesn't have to have
Okay,
one.
to table. Right.
No discussion on
Yeah,
that.
my discussion is I'm trying to do exactly like the administrator just asked us to do, give her a little time to get
You
with the
don't-
architect and then bring it back to the next meeting.
You don't have to discuss the table.
I'm
I
doing
thought
it
that's
anyway.
what she said.
Call for the question. It's an automatic call.
Madam
Just
Chairman,
to table.
we have this discussion, right?
No,
Nope, no
No.
discussion on table.
it's an automatic call.
Okay, go ahead with the vote.
It's not good. District 1, Lee.
Yes.
District 2, Q.
Yes.
District 3, Martin.
Yes.
District 4, Reed.
Yes.
District 5, Epps.
Yes.
District 6, Corbett.
Yes.
District 7, Scruggs.
Yes?
Okay, it's table.
And I just, since it was directed back my way, I just wanted to make sure that Mr. Holmes was informed that we've taken this. And also, Commissioner, there will be another added expense for him completing the plans and letting the bid, because that was not in the original price. So I just
Oh,
want
Lord,
everybody
what's going on there?
informed.
Go ahead.
Well,
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty, having known that additional information, and this is within order, you don't have to wait till the next meeting. I move this come off the table so we can vote on something, because we don't need to spend any more money on an architect.
Madam Chairman, you know what, and this time, I'm gonna second the motion. I'm gonna second.
legally, tabling it means you don't go forward with
Look
it.
out, gentlemen.
Look it up,
Right.
look it up,
Madam Chair, discussion.
look it up. I'm right.
We are going in circles, okay? Here's my point for discussion. We don't have to spend any more money between now and the next meeting. Have a discussion with Mr. Holmes, have him here at the next meeting. We can have him here and discuss what additional money he may anticipate having to spend. Then we can make a decision. So I don't think, my motion to table didn't, and I'm clearing this up, my motion to table didn't say, and let Mr. Holmes spend more money. It said, motion to table, stop now, boom, till next meeting. Okay.
Legally, that's what your table did.
That's all I did was table it. He's not spending another dime until he comes to this commission. That's my understanding.
All right, that's fine, I can stand.
Okay.
But if we agree to let him do it, it's gonna cost us.
Yes, sir.
But you're
That
not
will
agreeing.
dip into, I'm saying that after he comes.
No, I said we're wasting time.
We spending more money out of that 150.
Okay. We have an announcement. The courthouse will be celebrating June 1st. It's a state holiday, so the facility will be closed. Leroy, you have a...
Yes, ma'am, I have something to make y'all feel a lot better since y'all have.
You always do, Leroy.
Leroy, come on around to the microphone.
Oh, he said you can hear him.
On June the 10th, which is on a Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock, the president, well, let me go back. The president signed a proclamation to honor Vietnam veterans. And we're having the first, and we have to do this for 5 years. We're having the first ceremony on June the 10th at 10 o'clock at the National Cemetery, Fort Mitchell National Cemetery. We will be having a Vietnam Veterans Memorial Service.
We got a meeting that morning, too.
Oh, we have a meeting. What time is
Well,
that?
you can have a meeting right there when we finish the service. Y'all will be in a holy place and.
Maybe we can have a fast meeting after that morning, so.
But, June the 10th, it'll be the first, and we have to do this for 5 years to honor Vietnam veterans.
And what time is it, 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
Eastern time?
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair,
Okay, yes.
The National Cemetery.
Good little ride.
I would like to, on the last meeting, we talked about the zoning. Commissioner Lee and I had a disagreement of discussion about it. And he asked me to do something, and I want the commissioners to know that I did do it. And Mary Pond sent all the information up, and I asked the administrator if she would make sure that it got into the commissioner's package. We do not have to have a vote of the people to vote for zoning. She sent everything from the time it started and the amendments that was made during that time. And on the next meeting, I had asked the last meeting that the commissioner would look over it, also look at the comprehensive plan and anything that we need to update in our comprehensive plan that we can do that. I would like the commissioner to please be ready for the next meeting to discuss, really to vote on it. So I would like for that to go on the agenda. Everybody have 2 weeks in advance to reread, rehearse, and do your own investigation. I would just like to say that I did follow up on Commissioner Lee's request, and Ms. Mary Pond did get the information to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that must have been something that was sneaked through on us. But, before you go zoning, don't bring it up for a vote in 2 weeks. Take a year to look at it, because it's complicated. It's not just something you just vote on and we got zoning, bow, you did.
It's not really complicated in the way she explained to me how it can be done. You don't have to zone the whole county. You zone areas that you know there's growth and what will be there.
So we can spot zone.
So
Boy,
you
I'm
call
learning a lot
it, you
today.
do call it spot zoning.
Yeah, you can.
So you
Yeah,
don't have to just say we're gonna zone the whole county, because a lot of folks do move out in the county and get enough space to have their animals or whatever they need out there.
Russell County, one of the fast growing counties,
Thank
we're gonna need that.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.